So what's next? The talking caiman? Rhino? Platypus? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 2 of Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight. The first episode started off pretty simple. These girls at a fine arts college just learning to dance and shit, and then it turned into some weird underground dance battle arena thing with a talking giraffe, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? What am I supposed to take from that? Um, but outside of just the confusion, I don't know if I even got this across super well last time. Outside of just the confusion over what was going on, the first episode wasn't like anything special. It wasn't bad. It didn't do anything that really hooked me in. You would think that the, talking giraffe and craziness down there would hook me in more than it did, but especially going off of, excuse me, sorry about that, especially going off of the last week, I've really realized it's like, this really hasn't stuck with me at all. Outside of, again, the surprise over the craziness. But, I found myself not invested in these characters, the story, the events. It hasn't really done anything for me yet. And I'm hoping that changes. Because this is a single season show, right? So it's not like it'd be hard to get through. It's just a matter of, is this going to actually hook me in to any degree? Is this going to make me want to keep watching? At this point, I just genuinely don't know. It's hard to say because, again, it starts as one thing but goes into something completely different, and I just don't know how to feel about that yet. And it's not like Symphogear, where it kind of shatters the illusion of what it's about really quickly, and handles that change in the first episode and the tone shift really well. Because it just feels like almost two different things from, at least for episode 1, from the start of the episode to the end of it. It feels like it just shifted in in the tone and style of the series randomly, rather than having it always be intended. And that's the hard part, I think, about a lot of shows that have this sudden surprise tone shift and stuff. Sorry for all the yawning. Don't know why that's happening, but a lot of shows that try to do this try to start one way and then surprise does something else. It's difficult to really do, because I feel that there's only two ways to do it correctly. Either you have to do it in a way, trying to think of a good comparison here. I guess just like Symphogear, where the reveal happens very quickly, and it dedicates itself entirely to that reveal. Or you have to have it to where the reveal happens at the very end of the first episode or so, and this only after you have already invested your audience strongly into what was happening before. So that way that the shift actually, changes the entire perception of the series after, again, having the fans already gotten connected to what they were watching in the first place. And there's two good examples that I can think of that do that second option. The first one is an older anime, I believe it was like 2015, 2016, called School Live or School Live. I still don't know how to say that. Gakko Girashi, if you want to say it in the Japanese. Gakko Girashi is a series that, and this is older at this point. It's not really a spoiler anymore. So I feel comfortable saying it because it's such an older series at this point. But if you don't want to hear about these spoilers, skip ahead a little bit. There's going to be one for a newer anime too, the one that just came out like last week. So, if you don't want spoilers, for stuff like that, just skip ahead. I don't know, a little bit here, and you should be fine. Or just go straight into the reaction. But in terms of spoilers, so Gakko Girashi starts off seeming like a pretty standard slice of life school anime. And then at the end of the first episode, it reveals that it's actually a zombie anime. And it shows that the cutesy school anime aspect of it is literally just inside the head of a schoolgirl who's, you know, dealing with extreme PTSD and not doing super well at it. It's actually a really dark, intense, even frightening series that deals a lot with mental health in a post-apocalyptic situation, as well as just, you know, kind of playing up to the idea of like these young girls having to deal with their friend who's not mentally okay and having to like try to figure out should they like humor her delusions, should they try to break her out of her delusions, all kinds of crazy stuff. The second series, which again is a newer series, so if you want to avoid spoilers, for a newer series, like a summer 2025 anime series that does this kind of thing, just skip ahead a little bit here. Or go straight into the reaction, which is linked in the description below, and come back for the afterthoughts on this video. The second series is Turkey, Time to Strike. I reacted to this last week. I did the first episode reaction. And it starts off as a bowling anime, gets you really invested in the characters and the bowling and the drama surrounding that, especially between two of the specific characters and their differing viewpoints. There's a lot of like specific commentary on differing views in regards to competition. And then at the end, it just suddenly becomes an isekai out of fucking nowhere. And it's such a sharp turn, such a sudden change, that it's just kind of brilliant, and it just gets you so invested in watching more. But the point of these examples are, these are shows that start one way, dedicate themselves to that start, but then switch it up and dedicate themselves to the new narrative that's being painted with the switch up. And that's the point I'm trying to get across with comparing to this. Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight, its first episode, doesn't seem fully dedicated to it at the start. The first, like, 2/3 of the episode, it just doesn't really, like, at least from my perspective, it doesn't really do anything to hook in the viewers. It's just kind of there. It's introducing all the characters and introducing what they're doing, and that's it. Which, you know, a first episode should do, but it doesn't add anything to that. So when it switches, you're just more confused rather than, like, really shocked and hooked in. The switch up feels very tacked on because of this, and it just doesn't feel like it belongs in the same show. Outside of, you know, the connection with the name of the production that they're dancing to and all. Fighting to. It seems like really random to do that. because it's like we're not like shocked because we were already invested in what was going on, and this is like a huge twist for us. Again, at least for me, because I wasn't invested in what was going on. I was just kind of like there. And it's not early enough to where it's just like, this is not what you were expecting. It's a big change like Symphogear. And it's just like, it really captures your attention by itself. It's still a later reveal. I just feel like it doesn't commit enough. And even this weird like underground fighting arena thing, it also doesn't commit enough. It's like, it's weird, but it could be weirder. It could be stranger, and it probably will get so. But it's like, the weirdest thing is the talking giraffe, who talks without opening its mouth, by the way. But it's like, that's, otherwise it's just like some kind of weird dance fighting thing that's just like, okay. It just doesn't feel like it packs enough oomph. Like when Symphogear pulled the twist on us, it's like people were fucking dying. Kind of horrifically. When Gakko Garashi pulled the twist on us, people had died rather horrifically. And we see the aftermath of that. I'm not saying it has to be death. I'm not saying you have to kill people in order to make this kind of twist work. But it's like, it just has to be like so far removed from what you showed before. And having it be like an underground dance battle competition thing, it's like it's not far enough removed. It's not different enough from what we were showing. Hell, certain elements of it, like the Starlight, the performance itself, Starlight, was like talked about and everything prior, and it's just like, eh. It just took elements and added in a talking giraffe, and it's like, it's not that big of a twist. Maybe that's just me, though. The thing is, when it did happen, it really confused the shit out of me, because it's like, what the fuck just happened? But again, like, when you have a week to think about it, you have that time to like really process information a little better. This is why I don't like binging stuff. This is why I like to watch stuff week to week, because it allows me to process stuff. And this is a great example of that. Now that I got over the shock of it all, it's like I started thinking about it. It's like, that's really all it was. Shock. It wasn't anything that invested me or interested me or excited me. It was just shock. And it's like, is that enough? I don't know. I think at this point, I might want to give this a 3-episode run to see if it like hooks me in by that point. Because it's like, what, 12, 13 episodes total? So I'm going to give it to episode 3, and I'll determine at that point what I really feel about it. I think that's just the safest option here. Hopefully it proves me wrong and does hook me in. Hopefully it does, like, really connect to me throughout these next couple episodes. Because, like I said, with the first episode, it's just like, outside of that shock factor, didn't really do enough for me. But we'll see. So let's get into this and see what episode 2 has in store for us. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I think I know what they're going for with this series now, and I might be wrong. Do not correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, because I don't like spoilers, and I would consider that one of those. But I think I know what they're going for here. This is a series that's not really about the performances or whatnot. It's not really about the weirdness. It's not really about any of that kind of stuff. It's about the dreams, the passions, the kind of like desires and goals of all these girls, which yes, seem to center around this kind of performance and all. But it's more about like delving into their characters, their depths, their what makes them, their hearts, their souls, all of that. And like diving into like all of the intricacies that make them have all of these insecurities, all of these pains, all of these issues. Like with God, I probably have her name wrong here. Hoshino? June, I guess. um she seems to have a chip on her shoulder because she's been trying extra hard to achieve her goals here to be a stage girl, but is constantly just shown up and bettered by like the top stars in the class. And although she practices day and night, constantly pushing herself to the point of, literally passing out because of over exhaustion, she she finds herself unable to just let it go. She gave up everything for this. She gave up like her studious nature and everything because she found a passion in this. She found it to be what she wanted more than anything. And so she feels like she needs to put her everything into it, maybe to an unhealthy degree. To she definitely has this competitive spirit and this very like focused nature, and we see that with how she reacts to having been beaten by Karen before, even though Karen wasn't supposed to be in there. And so it kind of comes to a head with their like more authentic battle in this second round of auditions. And after losing more, genuinely to Karen here, she does kind of accept her. She sees that her aggressively competitive nature is not really helping her, and that she puts it, she needs to take more of the airheaded way, or whatever the exact wording was. But in reality, it's more like she just needs to try to have fun and stop being so aggressive and competitive about it, because it's hurting her. And Karen, we know, is doing this because of the promise she made to her friend, whose name I am completely forgetting right now. And we also get a little bit like showcasing the two top stars in the class, and it, I guess, hinting that they're going to be a big thing next time. Um, it's it's definitely trying to do something very specific here, and I don't know if I'm the audience for this. We're still going to give it the 3 episodes. We're still going to continue on the next week, but I'm really thinking I'm not the audience for this, because there's still some problems I had with this episode, with especially how it was paced, and there's just aspects that I'm still not getting into. Let's start with the pacing thing. going back and having three-fourths of this episode focus on just the regular world drama and everything for the most part, with, like, they're talking about what had happened, but the regular world drama stuff and the stuff in the school, I don't care about. I genuinely don't. And the show has not made me care about it. That's the point. It's like the first episode, when I'm watching most of it, I'm just kind of disinterested. I don't hate it or anything. I'm just kind of bored. And then it got to that big surprise at the end, and it's like that's all that was on my mind. So we come into this episode, and then we spend, again, the first three-fourths just not ignoring it, because it's, again, they're obviously talking about it, but we spend the first three-fourths just focused on the drama between the characters and the school stuff, and it's like, I want to, like, can we go back to that? Like, yeah, we have the little glimpse where we see the giraffe again when the friend, again, can't remember her name, is trying to get Karen disqualified, but it's just like, what, 30 seconds maybe a minute. It's nothing in the grand scheme of things. And it's like, nothing is really addressed in this. That's the thing. The only thing new that we really learned is that apparently there was an email, and that normally the girls are invited to this rather than Karen just kind of stumbling into it. So that really doesn't make a difference. Like, that really doesn't, at least in my opinion, change much of anything. It's like, okay, is that supposed to be like a big reveal? Because it definitely doesn't feel like it. It just didn't seem like it matters to know that, and to make a big point of that. And with that first 2/3 of the episode, it's just like, it's dragging on, and I'm just like, can we get to the point now? And the last third, it's like, it feels like it kind of rushes through it, because you only have, like, once they actually got to the stage and everything for the second auditions, there's like 4 minutes of the episode left. 4 or 5 minutes of the episode. It's like you have to rush through this entire battle because of that. And it just feels like there's not enough time put into it to really make it stick out, to really make it, like, matter. It feels like, because of the pacing of it, it just doesn't have any impact. It doesn't have any, like, passion or excitement. It's just kind of there. You don't feel the emotions you're supposed to feel. At least I didn't. Like, you're supposed to feel both the emotions of Karen and Junju in here. But it's like, I just didn't. It's really that simple. And it just felt like disappointing because of that. And I'm not saying, like, that it was bad. It's just, it wasn't really much of anything to me. I'm just kind of disappointed more than anything. I just feel like this second episode didn't expand upon what we got with the first, and with that big twist, enough to really make it worth it. But that's not the only issue I have with this either. I couldn't care less about pretty much any of these characters. One of the biggest parts of any series that you basically have to do is make the audience care about the characters. And this kind of goes with what I was saying about maybe I'm just the wrong audience for this, because I don't care about any of them. I have a hard time remembering their names because none of them stand out to me. They are so generic and boring. Like, comparing this to, like, Symphogear. Symphogear's characters stand out. They have, like such vibrant personalities and exciting, interesting depths to them. They have so much character, so much backstory, so much angst that helps them stand out in meaningful ways. Like you're not going to you're not going to confuse any of them for another. But with this, it just feels like they're not really that different. It's like Karen is slightly bubbly, I guess. I couldn't tell you any difference between her or the banana haired girl. And I only know of the banana hair thing because they keep bringing that up. Um, her hair doesn't look like bananas, really. Not that much. Um, it's just the friend, again, can't remember her name. They try to play her as being angsty, but then like kind of give up on that idea, and she's not angsty, and it's just like, what? Hell, Jun was more angsty in this episode than the other girl was in both of these episodes so far. And then you have the top star girls, and they're just like, I guess they're supposed to be portrayed as like high and mighty, I guess. But it's like it's so like vaguely portrayed here. It just I don't really see any of this personality we're supposed to be seeing. It's telling us like these characters are supposed to be seen this way, but it's not showing us that. And I just don't see enough like actual character in them. They're just super unmemorable to me. The music is fine, I guess. Like, I keep comparing this to Symphogear. There are definitely similarities. The music in Symphogear is just a lot better. Um, and it's just there's also like Karen's roommate who very very aggressively blatantly has a massive crush on her. It is like so that is the most personality of any of these characters. Karen's roommate having this massive insane crush on her. But it's like that's all I can tell you about her. It's like she's practically nothing else. And the continuation of this as it goes on might like add to that and might give her and other characters more depth and intrigue. But still, I'm just the problem is they seem to be drip feeding it, and that's I think the issue I'm having. It's one of those shows where the characters get drip fed actual character one at a time in each episode. In this episode, it was June. We're seeing, like, again, her overworking herself and stuff because of her past and what she wants to do rather than being studious and everything. It's like it gives us that this episode, but it's like none of the other characters have anything to them. And so it's like focusing on any of the other characters or showcasing them really means nothing. And it's just I just don't get it. Again, maybe I'm not the audience for this. I'll give it another episode to see. But this is really starting to seem like it's just not for me. These first two episodes have not really done enough to make me invested or to make me care. And I don't get it. I think that's the biggest thing. I just don't get it. I don't see an appeal. I'm not invested. I don't even remember most of the characters. And it just hasn't, like, seemingly from my perspective, like, put enough effort into its story to make me that interested to see where it goes. So hopefully this will change. Hopefully episode 3 proves me wrong. I would love for that to happen, but we'll see. We'll see. I think that's a good point to, like, kind of determine things by. A lot of people throughout the just generalized anime fandom tend to give most shows at least a 3 episode um like shot, I guess is a word for it. The 3 episode rule is a very common thing within the generalized anime fandom, where it's just like, give a show at least 3 episodes, unless it's, like, I guess, exceptionally longer. In that case, give it more. But for like a general 1 or 2 course series, give it a 3 episodes and determine by that if it's for you. Most people seem to do that, and I've done it for plenty of shows myself. I'm gonna give it the 1 more episode and hope that it changes my mind on this. But as of right now, I'm not getting it. So we'll see where this goes next week. For now, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this 2nd episode of Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight. For now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.